Think I'm live. Looks like it. All right, I wanted to talk about the Cellerciser and the Bellicon because I've made videos about those in the past, and I referenced a video in those videos, and it just came into my feed the other day, and I wanted to kind of do like a quote reaction video to it. It does have music in it, so I don't know if that's going to get copyrighted and taken down. Hopefully not. So I'm only going to talk about that in the beginning, but I also want to talk about mold, weight gain because of mold, some other symptoms because of mold, and a couple of other things. Now I keep forgetting that it's Friday. I'm thinking that it's Tuesday today for some reason. I have no idea why. But let's get started. So I'm gonna minimize myself here. Put me up here. And where is it? There it is. So this is going to be about 20 minutes, probably because I'll have to interlude and everything like that. But I do want to talk about mold and then a couple of other things.
Hello, my name is Dave Hall, and for over 25 years I've traveled all around this country and different parts of the world expounding the benefits of the mini trampoline industry. I love this industry. I love what it has done for me. I really believe it saved my life.
The reason I'm talking about this is because I rewatched Dave Hall's story, and I've had some similar things that I actually didn't really think about going on. And the other day, I removed one of those things from my house, and the next day, I lost 2.25 pounds, not changing anything else. So let's just, keep going here.
Received testimonials and letters from customers from all over the world who believe the same thing. It's most definitely improved the quality of life, and that's my job. My job is to help people reach their greater health potential. I believe we have one. And Cellercise and this whole program is designed to help you achieve your greater health and your greater health potential. So you have more energy, you have a better lifestyle, you feel better, you perform better, and you're stronger. We have a competitor out in the market now that thinks their unit is as good as a good quality steel spring, and they use bungee cords. The problem with bungee cords is, quite frankly, they are rubber bands. They do stretch out. As they get warmer, they become more sluggish. This company is trying to allude to the idea that the Cellerciser is very squeaky. Well, I'm on a Cellerciser right now, and Jenna, if you can tilt the camera so they can see it, I want you to listen as I'm talking to how quiet the Cellerciser is. There's nothing magic about this unit. Anytime you have good quality steel springs, thank you, Jen, all you need to do is put a drop of oil at the both ends of each spring over.
Which I have done, and he's absolutely correct. It sounds exactly like that. I mean, you can't even hear it, and it's a lot smoother bounce too.
For a period of time, the steel will start to mold and smooth out as it rubs against the different steel component parts. And it becomes quieter and quieter and quieter. I oil mine now, this one here, maybe once every year and 3 months. I oil my personal unit, which you've also seen or will see on our website. I oil that once every year and 3 months. It doesn't need a lot of oil. And for a unit that is designed to last a lifetime, I think that's a pretty good feature. Bungee cords stretch out. When they stretch out, they have to be replaced. But in addition to that, we learned that when you use the bungee cords over a period of time, it builds up a glaze on the inside of the actual bungee where it rubs against the frame.
The reason I'm making this video again is I had so much issue with the Bellicon, it wasn't even funny. It started hurting my foot that never hurt, started hurting my knees, my back. I was in so much pain off that damn thing. And I thought, because this is like the most expensive mini rebounder that you can buy. It was like $1,200, and this is back in 2009 or 10 when 2011 when I bought it. And I hated it. I had just come from an urban rebounder, which was somewhat all right, but it kind of was jarring. And I'm like, I got to upgrade this thing because it's hurting my knees. And it was terrible.
And then it begins to squeak. The problem is you can't oil it. You're stuck with it. Or you have to replace the bungees. Steel springs are very, very clean. Bungee cords actually have an off-gassing and particulates that are...
Okay, so this one actually started to concern me because this happened to my Bellicon. You can see this white powder. Where the hell's my mouse? Oh, this white powder, it gets all over the place. And we had a bunch of cats at the time. We have 4 cats at the time. And I'm like, I hope they don't lick this stuff. This stuff's getting in the air. You can start smelling it. So we actually ended up putting the Bellicon in this like little storage unit in our apartment. The storage, room, I guess, that really couldn't be used all that much because it was slate roof, but there was like some little cracks. So sometimes the weather would come in. So, you know, we stored things the best we could, but we used this in there.
Broken off of the bungee cords and can fly into the air. Those particulates, especially when you're working out hard and breathing hard, could potentially be lodged in the lungs. Try to imagine a health club where you have a bunch of bungee cord units out there, everybody's working real hard, and these particulates are flying around in the air. It's probably not a real good thing. The Cellerciser and the steel springs are clean. They don't put off those particulates. The mini trampoline industry is not about jumping high. If you want to jump high, get a big trampoline. When you jump high, all you're doing is floating. The cells aren't doing anything. The muscles are not expanding and contracting. The valves aren't opening and shutting. It isn't weight bearing when you're just floating in air. And yet our competitor would try to say, hey, when you jump higher, you're going to get more benefit. Quite frankly, that is not true. As a matter of fact, the higher you jump, the more G-forces, and if you're not landing with good support under your feet, and your feet pronate over a short period of time, a month, you can actually feel the pain that can start to occur in the ankles, the knees, and the hips. Because when you jump high and you pronate as it comes down, that pressure against the joint becomes painful. We've had numerous customers tell us of that.
This is exact, like I could have literally have written this. This was my exact thoughts behind the Bellicon. Exactly. It's the exact same thing. My arches were on fire with this, and I don't have the deepest arch. So maybe if you have like really good arches, maybe, but for me, it was terrible. And now there are like $110 or something like that to replace.
So let's take a look, first of all, at this bungee cord unit. And I'm going to jump up and down high on it. And you can see that they lengthen the legs, and this is not an old unit. But let's take a look, because I want to compare the height of that to the height of the Cellerciser.
Okay, so this is kind of the main reason that I'm playing this, because I bottomed out in this thing. And you're going to see that even Dave Hall, who we're about the same height, but he's like 100 pounds less than me.
Okay, this is the Bellicon unit, uses the bungee cords. They advocate jumping high. I know that they have longer legs, so you can jump higher, even though your body is simply floating. But we're going to try jumping high on this. And as I jump up, I just bottomed out. I just hit the ground.
Yeah.
I just hit the ground. they're advocating jumping high on this. I want to get a flashlight. I want you to lie down. I want you to see that I can't even jump that high on this. And I don't weigh that much. Where's the flashlight? I've got a flashlight. Oh, good, you've got it. All right, let's lie down. Or if you can take the camera, lie the camera underneath. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Okay, good. All right, now, let me turn it down a little bit. Lower setting maybe. Okay, how's that? Okay, can you see that? All right, can you see that? They're advocating jumping high on this unit. Okay, ready?
Ready.
Okay, watch.
It used to happen to me all the time. The one time the mat ripped in half and I went through and I hit the ground so hard that the girl below us came up, you know, A, to see if we were all right, but B, to let her know that, let us know that I had like chipped the ceiling paint or plaster or whatever.
I hit the ground. Did you see that?
Yep.
That was the first jump. And I hit the ground. I hit it again. I'm bottoming out. That thing is, excuse me. Okay, I didn't honestly realize that this did not give the support that I really thought it would. If you're advocating a unit to jump high, you need to have good support. My dad was jumping on a unit that bottomed out and he was permanently disabled within a month. He came down straight-legged and the jarring effect was so severe it put a bone fragment right through his nerve in his lower back. I don't know what to tell you. It's very sluggish.
Yes. When I reviewed that Bellicon, it was so sluggish. I mean, I gave it to my parents because my mom's probably going to use it like once a month. But yeah, it's very sluggish.
I love to jump. I love everybody who's in the industry who's promoting the idea of jumping. That is great. But to compare this to a Cellerciser or other good quality rebounder on the market using steel springs, honestly, there is no comparison. I'm sorry, if you have a Bellicon and you like it, great. Use it. Have fun with it. If you start to notice that your ankles or knees or hips are starting to hurt, well, give us a call. We might be able to help you out. Okay, I'm going to take the bungee cord out of the picture. And this is the Cellerciser. We use a Triflex steel spring. It is a patented spring design. The bungee cords advocate having to use different size or weights of bungees depending on how much you weigh. So if you weigh 300 pounds, you're supposed to get a heavier set of bungees. If you weigh 100 pounds, you get a lighter set of bungees. Well, if you think of the logistics of that in one home, that means every family member may have to have their own unit, and they're not cheap. Well, that's one of the reasons I designed the Triflex spring. It has a larger diameter.
And when, I mean, I hate to, I mean, this is almost bragging, but when I got my Cellerciser, it was $399. Now they're like $700.
In the middle of the spring, then it has a ridge where it tapers, and then another ridge where it tapers again. So whether you're 30 pounds or 300 pounds, you're going to be utilizing that portion of the spring you need based upon how high you jump or how much you weigh. So somebody weighing less is simply going to be utilizing the center portion of the spring. If you jump higher or you weigh more, then after the center portion stretches, it graduates to the next ridge and the next tier and so forth. It's the only self-adjusting spring of its kind on the market. All right, and I'm going to jump high on this. And Jenna, you can, well, we'll do the same thing out of all fairness. I'll have her lie down and see how the Cellerciser performs. The whole objective is designed so you don't bottom out. You create G-forces, but you have good support, and your feet don't pronate. like they do with the weaker rubber bands, and that's important, especially if you're doing physical activity on it. Okay, so jumping up and down, you can see I'm not going to bottom out, and that's good. We don't want to bottom out. So, Jenna, if you want to, just slide down and do the same thing with the video, so people can see it. It doesn't matter whether I'm 300 pounds or 50 pounds. It's designed to be a self-adjusting spring. And a 300-pound person's not going to be jumping high anyway. But and I wasn't 300 pounds on the bungee course. Okay, I'm going to jump really high. That was high. I don't know how far away from it I was, but I didn't feel that I was going to hit or bottom out at all. You know, years ago, when I was doing my business plan, I was asked, who's your target audience? And I thought about it, and I said, people. Well, they laughed at me, and they said, no, you can't.
All right, I don't know if I need this part. I just wanted to get that other part out just because I'm live here. If you guys want me to show the rest of it, maybe I can. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about, if there's anybody actually watching at this point, is mold. I really never thought anything of it. I don't know why. But when, prior to me moving from Philly back to Cleveland, I was about 230-ish pounds. My ex was about 5'5" and 116 pounds. And ironically, I lost a lot of weight doing the Cellerciser and cycling. That's all I did. I didn't lift really. Actually, I stopped lifting in 2016, late 2015, because my chiropractor's like, you don't need to lift. He's like, you need to get this weight off. So I started Cellercising a lot more, like doing the vigorous, his 10-minute workout, and then riding, just riding in hills and stuff like that. And I got myself down to about 230 pounds. Of anybody who's watched this channel has seen my before and afters. And that was late 2016. And then we moved. Wait a second. Then we moved from Philly to Cleveland, which I really regret-ish doing. But so she went from 116 pounds and I went from 230 pounds to almost 300 pounds for me and about 160 pounds for her. And we couldn't figure it out. Our lifestyle then changed. Matter of fact, we were more active. I was way more active because the post offices went from this little shoebox that I was working in to a huge building, warehouse basically, with, I don't know, 85 or 90 city routes. So that's a lot of mail that you're moving. Huge, like crazy busy window. I went from an office where I was sitting all day. I was so unbusy that I was beating on average I had my 3DS with me, one 3DS game every other week, sometimes every week. I was bringing in a new video game, and I like to play role-playing games, which are 100 hours, so obviously it wasn't just a week, but it would be every other week, maybe every 3 weeks or something like that. I was beating a game. It was crazy. That's how unbusy I was. It wasn't really walking all that much. And I was just riding, and I was Cellercising 10 minutes a day. And I lost a ton of weight. I had people stopping me on the street. I wasn't watching what I was eating. I wasn't doing high carb, low fat. I was trying to stay as high carb, low fat as I possibly could. But again, I've told the story about cookies were, there was a lot of vegan cookies, and I was having a salad at night with falafel, at least one avocado, nuts and seeds and stuff like that. I really was not paying any attention to any YouTuber, and I was losing weight like crazy. And then we moved out to Cleveland, and I never put it together. I couldn't figure it out because we were way more active. I was riding more. I was actually I joined the gym. I mean, like it started happening pretty quick. But when we got there, it rained. I don't know, like three or 4 weeks after we got there, and we realized because it was in the winter when we moved that every time it rained, the basement would flood, and there was mold in there. So I didn't think much of it. But all this equipment that I have right here was in that basement, and that's basically where I did all my video game stuff and all that. And then we reported the flooding to the landlord, who didn't give a shit. So we're like, okay, so we contacted the city, but the city's like, well, the landlord always has more protection than you do. I'm like, fuck you too. So I kept reporting this to the city, kept reporting. So finally somebody came out, and I'm like, every time it rains, it's raining on this circuit breaker. It's like, and there's mold down here. I didn't think anything of the mold. I really never thought it was that dangerous. So instead of the landlord caring, they evicted us. So then we got another place. And when we got this place, it was great. The basement didn't flood and all that kind of stuff. But they didn't put the right stuff. They didn't do the bathroom right. And when we first moved in there was no mold that I could see in there, other than maybe a little bit in the cracks. But as we lived there, mold started getting all over the walls, all over the ceiling, all over the shower, all over the shower curtain. And we were trying everything to get rid of this, like the hydrogen peroxide method, the vinegar method, the bleach thing. I mean, everything that we could possibly think to get rid of this stuff. So fast forward like a couple of years, and or like a year, and it just keeps getting worse. And I didn't really think about it. Every animal we had died in that house. I got almost 300 pounds. She gained 50 pounds. More active than we were in Philly where we lived. Making an effort to actually be active, and couldn't get the weight off. And then so I had somebody contacting me about sleep not too long ago, who I may eventually interview. And he was talking to me about he almost died because of mold. And he had a lot of the symptoms I had, and he said he gained 80 pounds out of nowhere and couldn't get it off no matter what he did. And he would just sweat like crazy, which is an issue that I've had for years. So then the other day, I start really thinking about this, and all the cats that we had died. Every animal that went into that house died. Everybody that was in that house gained weight. There was severe agitation. Everybody was always at each other's throat. We were actually a fairly tight-knit group before, and then everything fell apart. I hated that house too. I had visions of burning that house to the ground so many times. And as she was leaving, which is a year ago, last weekend was a year since she left. As she was walking out of the house, she looks at me. She's like, "Get out of this house. This place is death." And I'm like, I know I got to get out of there. So I did. But then I came in because I've been going to the beach and coming back, and I went into the bathroom like 2 or 3 days ago, and I'm like, shit, I brought this shower curtain with me, and this shower curtain has mold all over it. I didn't really think about it because I've never really thought mold was all that serious. So I throw it out. The next day, I lost 2.25 pounds, like overnight. I don't know if that was that or the fact that I started taking the Cellerciser more serious again. So I'm working with the Pampa people to do a protocol on getting rid of mold out of your system. and I'm working with that other guy too, and they both kind of came up to the same conclusion. They have no connection with each other, and they both told me to take the same thing. So I'm going to start that. But everybody that I know now, because I started looking into this, it just has unexpected weight gain, sleep issues, agitation, just it just can't get weight off no matter what the hell they do. Weird sweating. I mean, I had my chiropractor tell me I had the back of a 75-year-old because there's so much inflammation in there. So anyway, that's one of the things. And I started, and he actually, Dave Hall, had kind of a similar story of being exposed to pesticides and asbestos, and he was actually only given he was given a pretty bad prognosis, and he cured it with mounting and a trampoline, and that's eventually how he got into what he does now. So that is my video, 26 minutes into it, but because it hasn't made sense to me, my diet, especially when I was living in Cleveland, everybody thought I was lying in the comments. Oh, he's just eating burgers. Oh, he's just eating KFC. I'm like, fuck you. Like I have been eating as like agitation. It would cause agitation with others how clean I was eating. They're like, why are you doing this? Like, why do you keep doing this? It's not doing anything anyways. Just enjoy your life. But really, when I looked at it, I gained about 50 to 60 pounds. She gained 50 pounds. Her daughter gained weight. Her daughter was a rail, and then she gained a bunch of weight. And then her son, I don't know about him. I tried to pay as little attention as I could, but I think that might have had a lot to do with it. I had no idea because I never really paid attention to it before because I've always lived in the Northeast, which is very humid, and so mold is just kind of a thing. Another thing, the same guy pointed out to me that it's actually in the Bible that if you have mold in your house, you're to take the house down to the studs, replaster, and if mold grows back within 7 days, you're supposed to literally knock the house down and burn everything that was in it. So mold is pretty serious. So that's where we're at right now. I don't think there's mold in the house. I got some mold testing kits. They haven't come back with any positive mold or anything like that. I always have the windows open in here, especially in the bathroom. The bathroom doesn't seem to be having any issues like the other bathroom that I was in did. So that is where I'm at right now. But I don't know why I never really thought of it, but like everything was torn to pieces in that house. My relationship, everybody's relationships, we all basically hated each other by the time everything was all said and done. And I'm fine with never talking to any of them again. That's fine. But it was weird because when we moved in there, I remember it. It was like Halloween Day, and I had just gotten a box because I've been running businesses now because of the ankle issue. We had been running businesses, and we were making like greeting cards and stuff like that. And I got kind of paid basically to make greeting cards and visitor cards for this one city, and they had all just come in. I didn't feel like printing them all because it was too much printing. And so they had just come in, and I was looking at them, and I remember us like being all happy and shit. And she was out there doing her gardening like she does, and it was like living a horror movie. It really was in that house. It really was. It was, yeah. So anyway, I didn't realize that the mold, there had to have been mold all over that house. I mean, I hated that place. I've never wanted to burn my own house down to the ground and watch it burn. Yeah. Anyway, I haven't looked at if there's chats. Not too many. I read that that having the English ivy plant in your house can remove mold from a room. Yeah, I've heard some of that stuff. Hello. Did Pampa mention mercury dental fillings? I don't have any fillings. Dealing with mold recovery itself and boot kill yolk breathing has really helped me, especially with calming and supporting detox. Uh, is that Japanese, Doctor Butekyo? Yolk? I don't know. Whatever. It was healing and every chronic disease patient with only breath. Yeah, that might be able to help to get rid of this stuff out of your system. It might. It's amazing how if I put like Cellerciser and mold in my thumbnail or my title that nobody comes on and it amazes me. But anyway, that's my video. I think I'm gonna get cutting out of here because I gotta eat at some point. It's getting a little late. It's only 5:30. I am so off. My dad's birthday was yesterday, and for whatever reason, it felt like it was a Monday yesterday, and now I'm thinking it's like Tuesday today. I'm really getting thrown off. Anyway, um, anybody else in New York? It's really cold and not cold, but it's like it was like 70 degrees today. Would I now recommend Pampa to others? I'm gonna hold my conclusion to Pampa until I'm done, which I think is soon. You pay for it, and I think it's like 5 or 6 months of stuff. Ironically, I just got a notification here, I think, from them that they're sending more stuff. Oh, no, that's bread. That's a different thing. So, anyway, I've been changing a bunch of things. I've been working with making my own bread out of actual whole grains. And then I talked to the bakery right up the road, her and I actually have the same birthday, which is crazy. But she actually uses whole grains too, so I've been buying bread from that because I know bread can be like bread was like a major part of our diets back in the day. Prior to, and I've talked about this in the video that maybe it was this week. I'm so thrown off. So I don't know. I'm just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall. We'll see what happens. But I couldn't believe I lost 2.25 pounds just by throwing that curtain out. How do I make mashed potatoes without adding oil or butter? I've actually never added oil to mashed potatoes. If you want to be low fat, I would just use vegetable stock, carrot based. Some of them are tomato based, and I don't like those. You can also use, if you would like tomatoes, you can use like a V8 to make mashed potatoes out of. But I'm really not into the whole low fat thing anymore. I'm kind of over it. I think it's got a lot more to do with. Oh, and my vitamin D came back, and I guarantee it's over 100 at this point because I'm in the sun a lot. So that's I'm just kind of giving an update of what I'm doing right now. I haven't really been making a ton of videos, but I have been doing the 10-minute workout for the Cellerciser, and then I've been just kind of walking and going to the beach and stuff. Jake, why don't you just peel and boil the potatoes and then mash them? I mean, some people like the peels. I actually kind of like the peels in it, but like mashing potatoes, I do know what you mean, like that consistency of making the potatoes and like the mashed potatoes like you're used to. You're never going to get the mashed potatoes like you're used to, like mom's mashed potatoes back in the day, without having fat in them. It's just not going to happen. But I have used vegetable stock. That works all right. It's not going to be, and salt. Salt kind of helps a little bit. Boil potatoes until really soft and tender, and then mash them. Garlic powder, salt, pepper, sprinkled dried parsley flakes. That's pretty good. I mean, you can use oat milk too. Oat milk really doesn't have that much fat in it. Is there's a couple of them that have like only 1 gram of fat. Is the fried crispy tofu from a Chinese restaurant okay? I like to taste. The Chinese, unfortunately, have started using all these seed oils. Did I make that a poofa video? I don't think I did. I meant to. But these poofas really are getting bad. What beach do you go to in your area? I just go to Coney Island. You can go to Rockaway, but Rockaway's been having an issue with sharks. And actually, it just got flooded yesterday. So Rockaway's in pretty bad shape right now. So, or I could go into Long Island, but it's easier just to go over to Coney Island for me. Big enough, so it's widespread out enough. But yeah, I've been spending a lot of time outside. I'm trying to replicate what I used to do in the summer to try to figure out if vitamin D really causes weight, low vitamin D causes weight gain or not. Seeing how many people are here. But yeah. Anything else? Have you guys been going to the beach? Anybody who watches this going to the beach lately? I enjoy it, but today is actually like it feels like the fall today. I don't like it, but it was nice at the same time. So I don't hate it, but I'm not ready for fall yet. All right, I really don't think I have anything else to talk about. Will this be your first winter in New York? No, I was here for winter last year, and I've been actually here in quite a few winters. I used to be in New York quite a bit when I was in Philly, so New York was not exactly new to me when I came here. Actually, I think I was here mostly in the winter because that's when a lot of the conventions were that I was here for. I did a lot like art conventions and stuff like that back in the day. And then sometimes we would come up here just to come up here. So, I mean, I've lived in winters in the Northeast for most of my life. Do you ever get sunburn or peeling skin at the beach? I do not. If your vitamin D is high enough, I don't burn. I don't think anybody burns if their vitamin. It only when your vitamin D is too low that do you burn. Have you ever paddle boarded? It's really fun. I have. It's been a really long time. I did it. I think I did it in Indiana, like the little bit of Indiana that hits Lake Michigan. Or is that the Superior Lake Superior? I'd have to look, but it's a little bit of little part that hits the lake. Michigan, I think that's Michigan. Have you taken any cool photography lately? I haven't really. I got the stuff that I've got hanging here. I got an art show coming up next week. I haven't really been out with my camera lately. I haven't. I think I'll probably start back up in maybe September. It has been like really hot, and it's just kind of lugging, like having that backpack with a camera in it on your back. It just gets really, really hot. Do you prefer camera or iPhone camera? Oh, regular camera. Like the one I'm on right now. I mean, 100% regular camera. I like Zeiss lenses too. Sony camera with a Zeiss lens that really looks good. Actually, I've got an adapter here too because I got some old lenses from back in the 60s from my grandfather, and I can adapt them onto my Sony's. They're manual focus only, but they do have a good picture to them. Film or digital? I prefer film, but it is an expensive thing now. Now, film used to be pretty cheap, and now like the film is like $20 a roll, and it's about $14 or $15 just to have the things processed, like developed and then put on it like a CD so you can download them. Because I don't have a scanner for it anymore. My scanner broke, and I didn't feel like buying another one. Ditto, prefer film, but so pricey. It is really pricey. It's a little less expensive if you buy it in bulk. What's the best way to meet girls in New York City? Are hard hitting sugar is still helping you to talk to strangers. I don't know. Meeting people here. The problem that I have run into is the girls that I have talked to don't live here. That's a really big issue that I like. I don't even. I try not to even almost talk to anybody in the city now, like in Manhattan, because like 70% of them don't live here. I talked to a girl at the beach 2 days ago. We were having a great conversation, but then she lives in Boston, and I'm like, that's not gonna work. Hard hitting. I have been talking to a lot of people. I tell you what, just being outside more, which I'm forcing myself to at least be outside 2 hours a day. It's actually been like more to like 5 hours a day. I just have people come up and talk to me. Kind of how it's always been my entire life. People just come up and talk to me. Um, so it's just the way it is. I guess I just have that look or something. I have no idea. So yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people. I haven't been doing a bunch with the sugar though. What do I eat? I like today I had watermelon. That's all I've had, and then I'll have dinner. What's up, dog? What's good? Cellerciser. That's what's good. I did finally got my New York ID, so no longer attached to Ohio. Maybe I'll meet more people with photography. I actually, you know what? The people here, like, that's another way that I was meeting girls when I first got here. Again, like, they don't live here. Like this one right here. She just happened to be doing that, and I just photographed her, and I started talking to her, but I don't even know how old she was. She might have been young, but she didn't live here. Here's another one, like this Asian girl. I don't know if you could see that, but the one up there. I mean, we still talk in DMs on Instagram, but again, she doesn't live here. Here's another one, like her. She's only here like 2 months out of the year. No, I don't want to. I no. As far as dating somebody my size, no. I like skinny chicks. I really do. Um, I thought I used to like girls like with a little bit more weight on them, but I just don't. I think part of the reason too is if I ever had kids, I want them to at least have a 50% chance on being a normal weight. So no, I've got no interest. I've got a couple of friends actually who are like only date girls that are bigger, and I don't really even believe in dating. I'm only dating to marry at this point. I'm not trying to do no fucking body count or something like that. I never did that, so why start now? Yeah, that's one of the biggest issues I have run into is they don't live here. The ones that you meet, I'm sure I'll eventually meet somebody who lives here. Maybe fall seems to be a good season for that. I'm 5'11", weigh 155. Ryan, do you think I'm light, normal, or heavy? It's actually 155 is exactly what you're supposed to be. I think it's considered perfectly normal BMI. If I remember that chart that McDougal had. No, I don't like dating apps. Dating apps is just STDs. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I've always just run into the person or just I let God be my matchmaker. Just it'll line up somehow. Just some weird shit will happen and it'll just go from there. People who try to force it. Everybody's just trying to get laid anymore, and like people who try to force this stuff, you can see how miserable people be. They're shouting at each other. Like these two right next to me. I mean, they're always shouting at each other. Like the more I've been, shit, this thing's about to go off. Ugh, this damn thing. Well, I could talk for a second. The more I've been single, this is the longest I've been single my entire adult life. And the more I look at things, the more I just want nothing to do with dating apps and all that kind of shit. Here we go. It's gonna. I'm sure it'll cut out once this thing starts getting hot. It's gonna cut out again. There it goes. It's rare to meet someone that actually believes in marriage. Very sad. Yeah. I go. Here's the thing. I go to church. I have met girls at church. Like, I think that's probably where it'll happen. There's other situations that might happen too that I'm hoping for, but yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna just date around. I just can't handle that. I just can't. I can't do that. I don't want to. Like, I'm not like I don't feel like getting to know somebody like every week. Like, I'm just not that interested. Marriage should be with God, not the government. I agree with you, Ryan. No. Whoever I'm meant to be with, I have a feeling I know who it is, but like it will just happen on its own time. I'm not going to force it. Uh I did actually. Did I wear contacts? I did actually. I don't know anybody who doesn't live in Cleveland or Boston will have no I probably have no idea what a clam bake is. But I used to work between Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I used to work like 75 hours. Or not, no, sorry. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Those 4 days, I used to work like 75 hours during clam bake season. And I was wearing contacts at the time. And clams obviously live in sand. And some sand got underneath my contact and it ate my cornea up, and now I can't wear contacts. It was so bad that I had to be in a dark room for 2 days, and I had to put antibacterial drops in my eye every 15 minutes. So I really can't. There's actually a moat around my right cornea. So actually, both of them really. So no, I can't wear contacts anymore. It sucks too because with contacts, like the world is more 3D, which is why sometimes I'll just take my glasses off because it's more 3D. Like it seems like glasses make the world a little more two dimensional, which I don't like at all. So to answer the question, I used to, but I can't anymore. And they're a pain in the ass anyway. I don't really miss them. They're an absolute pain in the ass. But as far as the dating thing goes, like, yeah, I'm not gonna just date around to date around. Recently saw videos on how clams are gathered. Wow, that's tough work. It is rough work. It is rough work. I don't like the taste of them at all. I don't know why people like them. It was my world for almost a decade, though. Sugar Love from Fabulous Life. Is he on here? Do you now have dry eyes from the no, no. I did when I was I had really bad dry eyes when I did keto and carnivore. Like, really bad. It was so bad that they wouldn't even give me LASIK surgery, and now I'm glad I didn't do any of it. But then once I went vegan and was eating a lot of fruit, my eyes just completely corrected themselves. I mean, I've had the same prescription now since fourth grade, which was, I don't know how many years ago. I don't know how old you are in fourth grade, but what are you, like 8, 9? It might be 12. So like 3 decades. Let's just call it 3 decades. I've had the same prescription now for 3 decades. And actually, if I take my glasses up, like, I can drive like this. Like, it's not really a big deal. Like, if I need to drive or walk. Sugar Love and I know each other from Fabulous Life. Oh, okay. Ryan, have you ever tried ADF or IF? If I knew what that was, then maybe. Yeah. Is it true that fruit increases insulin sensitivity? Probably. I feel like when you have fruit and starch in your diet, I don't think the insulin's that bad of an issue. I've never the entire time I've had this channel never had high insulin. The one time I made that video about the high insulin, I read it. I did the thing wrong, the test wrong. That was the first time I had ever tested it and I did it wrong. Alternate day fasting or intermittent fasting? No, I'm never doing that again. I'd rather just be fat and eat. I don't see, there's none of this was a thing back in the day. There's something causing this weight gain, and that is what I am in the middle of figuring out. Not just on myself, just on everybody. It makes absolutely no sense why we ate what we ate back in the day, and now no one can eat anything. Ozzy and Hogan wish they were here. Fasting regulated my hormones. But why though? What was causing them to be unregulated? Because this was never an issue before. Like we never needed to starve ourselves back in the day. It was all religious. You should try that pizza baked in a coal-fired oven. I've had it. Insulin, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. Yeah, progesterone is like the backer of all of them. But no, I dry fasted last Labor Day, and then I gained 17 pounds the next week. So no, fasting, I'm not really into that. I don't love eating, but I'm also not going to starve myself for absolutely no reason either. It just seems like really weird. Like your body's hungry for a reason. Like it's like it reminds me of like babies. Like they start crying because they want food, and it's like, no, you're going to be fasting today. Um, like how ridiculous would that be? Ryan, how's your sleep? It's been really good, except for last night. I woke up ravenously hungry, and I couldn't get back to sleep. But it's been pretty good. It has been really good. And it was cool last night too. It was like 60 some degrees. Because I don't like air conditioning. I do not like it. Anyway, I think I'm gonna get out of here because I'm actually getting hungry. Would you keep a fish tank for relaxing pets to watch? No, I don't want pets at all. Not at all. When I was so glad that I went out to Cleveland to watch my sister's cats because I realized just how little I like doing it. Like my cat Blinky, that was a different thing. Like I feel like her and I were just the same creature, but most animals I want nothing to do with them. And as far as I used to actually keep fish, used to have fish tanks. I think I had like a 30-gallon. My dad's got a 30, a 10, and 60-gallon. So he can have them and he can tell me about it. He can take a picture. I can deal with it from there. Yeah, I don't ever want to bother with that again. It's just, and where would I put it? Honestly, this place is. I mean, it's not small, but it's not like no. The answer to the question is no. From the Netherlands here. Oh wow, I saw some girls actually here from the Netherlands 2 days ago. They were very attractive. I was talking to them, but yeah. Anyway, I gotta eat. Really gotta eat. It's only. I feel like I did. I'm so thrown off today. It's only 6 o'clock. I've been out so much later usually. Victoria killed her channel by charging $5 for lives. She charging money? Oh. I mean, I can't blame anybody for charging money for doing this stuff. Like I've been on here for an hour. I'll make maybe $3 off this whole thing with ads. You know, it's nice talking to everybody, but it's an hour, you know. And like here, I mean, you really got to make a decent amount an hour to even bother living here. Yeah, you take care too. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching. I might remember to post a thing for the Bellicon below in the comment section, or maybe I'll just cut that part out and kind of have its own thing. Victoria had extremely bad trolls. So do I. That's why I got off here for a while. I couldn't take it anymore. I felt like YouTube was sending them to me or something. I mean, it was getting bad. I actually had people emailing me, like how bad it was getting with the comments. I don't blame her at all. Like if that'll get rid of trolls, and then on top of the fact that she went on that Bart K, that Bart K thing was such a waste of time for everybody. It accomplished nothing. You know, maybe she was nervous on there or something like that. I don't know what the hell she was. She just kept on getting like this nervous laugh, and then he kept on saying nonsense and backing none of it up, and it was just. But I'm sure she got a lot of trolls from that. Originally, she wanted me to be the moderator, and he refused. But that was last year at some point. Originally, I was going to be the moderator, but that didn't happen. All right, I am going to go because I got to eat. But thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Might get on here. It's Friday. I keep thinking it's like Monday or Tuesday. I'll probably get on here next week at some point. I do have an art show coming up next week, so I'm going to have to get ready for that. And yeah, anyway, talk to you in the next one. Peace.